All right, so we're diving deep today into something pretty intense. You know how sometimes you hear about these like legendary rivalries, like the Lakers and the Celtics, Coke versus Pepsi, that sort of thing?
Right, those classic clashes.
Exactly. Well, picture this. A sociopath and a narcissist in the same room.
Oh, now that's a recipe for fireworks.
Seriously, it's like two psychological hurricanes about to collide. You've got manipulation tactics flying around, egos the size of Jupiter, and a whole lot of emotional damage just waiting to happen. I mean, it's high-stakes stuff, you know. It's like who's going to outmaneuver who? Who's going to come out on top?
Well, and the thing is, it's fascinating from a psychological standpoint because you've got these two very distinct personalities, both driven, both with this kind of charisma, but their motivations are so different.
Right. It's like, what makes them tick? What are they after?
Exactly. And that clash of motivations is where things get really interesting. So with a narcissist, it's all about that constant need for admiration, right? They need to be the center of attention, the star of the show. They're fueled by validation, by everyone telling them how amazing and brilliant they are.
Oh, totally. It's like their entire self-worth hinges on whether people are constantly praising them, right?
Yeah, it's almost like an addiction. They need that constant supply of admiration to function. And then you have the sociopath, who's wired completely differently. They're not really interested in applause or validation. They're more about power and control.
It's like, who's pulling the strings? Who's got the upper hand?
Exactly. And sometimes it seems like they just get off on creating chaos and watching everyone else scramble. So you have this hunger for attention bumping up against this thirst for control. It's like, what happens when those forces collide?
Well, let's break it down. So let's say our narcissist and our sociopath meet. How does this whole toxic tango even begin?
Well, you have to remember that sociopaths are incredibly strategic. They're always thinking a few steps ahead, and they're masters at reading people. So when a sociopath encounters a narcissist, they immediately clock that need for adoration.
It's like, oh, I see what makes you tick.
Right. And the easiest way to get someone on your side, at least initially, is to give them exactly what they crave. So the sociopath will shower the narcissist with compliments, flatter their ego, and basically mirror all of their desires and opinions.
Oh, yeah. They'll be like, you're so brilliant. I've never met anyone who understands me like you do.
Exactly. And the narcissist, of course, is lapping it up. They're thinking, finally, someone recognizes my genius. Someone truly appreciates me. But here's the thing for the sociopath, it's all an act.
Oh, totally. They're not thinking, wow, what an amazing person. They're more like, okay, how can I use this to my advantage? What are the pressure points here? How can I manipulate this person?
It's like a game of chess to them. They're studying the board, planning their moves, and the narcissist is just a pawn in their elaborate scheme. And the narcissist, blinded by all the attention and praise, is completely oblivious to what's really going on.
They're too busy basking in the spotlight, right? They don't see the strings being carefully attached.
Exactly. And so for a while, there might be this sort of superficial harmony. The narcissist is getting their dose of admiration, the sociopath is enjoying the feeling of control, and everything seems, well, almost normal. But it's a house of cards, really. It's not built on anything genuine or substantial.
Right. It's like, how long can that last? Because eventually the sociopath is going to get bored. They thrive on novelty, on excitement, and eventually even the most dazzling narcissist becomes predictable.
Right, and that's when things start to shift. The sociopath might withdraw a little, become less attentive, maybe even start to subtly criticize the narcissist just to see what happens. And the narcissist, whose entire world revolves around being admired, starts to panic.
Oh, you know the drill. The dramatic sighs, the sulking, the little digs at the sociopath disguised as compliments, the whole woe is me, nobody appreciates me routine. It's all designed to reel the sociopath back in and get that attention flowing again.
But here's the thing, those tactics that work so well on most people, they totally backfire with a sociopath. Because a sociopath doesn't experience guilt or shame the way most people do. They don't have that same need for approval.
It's like throwing water on a grease fire. It just makes things worse.
Exactly. And the sociopath, instead of giving in and showering the narcissist with more attention, might actually find it amusing. They might even start pushing back just to see how far they can push the narcissist before they completely snap.
So the narcissist is freaking out, the sociopath is getting a kick out of it, and this whole thing is escalating. What happens next?
Well, this is when the real mind games begin. The sociopath might start deliberately ignoring the narcissist, giving them the silent treatment, making snide remarks about their insecurities, or even openly questioning their intelligence. It's all designed to provoke a reaction, to get under the narcissist's skin.
It's psychological torture, really. They're chipping away at the narcissist's already fragile ego.
Exactly. And let's not forget the gaslighting, which is a sociopath's favorite tool. They'll subtly twist the narrative, deny things that happened, make the narcissist doubt their own memories and perceptions.
The narcissist is like, wait, am I going crazy? Did that really happen? Maybe I'm overreacting. It's insidious.
Totally. And as the narcissist feels their control slipping away, they become even more desperate for validation, for attention, for anything to make them feel like they're back on top. So they might up the ante, try to out-manipulate the sociopath, come up with these elaborate schemes to win back the spotlight.
Oh, it's a full-blown battle of the egos at this point.
Right. And the irony is this is exactly what the sociopath wants. They thrive on chaos, on drama, on pushing people to their breaking points like a twisted game to them, and they're the puppet master, pulling the strings and watching the show.
It's messed up, but you can kind of see how they get drawn into this toxic dance, right? It's like they feed off of each other's dysfunction.
Right. And at this point, any pretense of a genuine relationship is gone. It's a pure power struggle, a battle for dominance.
So we've got these two personalities locked in this psychological deathmatch. How does this usually play out?
Well, it often escalates into what can only be described as psychological warfare. The narcissist, desperate for validation, will likely resort to playing the victim.
Right. They'll be running around to mutual friends, painting themselves as the poor, innocent soul who's being tormented by this heartless sociopath. It's all about getting sympathy, getting people on their side, regaining control of the narrative.
Exactly. Public perception is everything to them. They need everyone to see them as the good guy, the one who's been wronged. But the sociopath couldn't care less about public opinion.
They're playing a different game altogether. It's not about winning hearts and minds. It's about breaking the narcissist down completely.
Their tactics are far more subtle and insidious. They might plant seeds of doubt in the narcissist's mind, manipulate situations to make them look bad, or even orchestrate these elaborate scenarios designed to publicly humiliate the narcissist.
Oh, that's brutal. And the narcissist, who's already so insecure deep down, completely crumbles under this kind of attack.
It's like their worst nightmare come true. They're being exposed, their weaknesses are being exploited, and they're powerless to stop it. And the sociopath, meanwhile, is probably watching the whole thing unfold with a detached sense of amusement.
So the smoke clears, the dust settles. Who's left standing in this emotional wasteland?
Well, in the short term, the sociopath usually appears to win this twisted game.
But is it really winning if you've just destroyed someone emotionally?
That's a good question, and it gets to the heart of what makes sociopaths so difficult to deal with. They don't experience remorse or empathy the way most people do. So, yeah, they might have won the battle, but they haven't gained anything of real value.
And the narcissist is left picking up the pieces of their shattered ego, right?
Right. They're devastated, humiliated, and probably scrambling to find new sources of admiration to rebuild their sense of self-worth. It's a pretty bleak outcome for both parties, really.
It's like they're both trapped in this cycle of dysfunction.
Exactly. And the sad thing is, they're both likely to repeat these patterns in future relationships.
So let's say someone is caught in the crossfire of this whole mess. Maybe it's a friend, a colleague, a family member. How do you navigate that kind of toxic situation? It's like, how do you even survive being around these two?
That's a really important question, and honestly, it's tricky territory. If you find yourself witnessing this kind of dynamic, the most important thing is to protect yourself.
Okay, give us the survival guide. What are the key steps?
First and foremost, don't take sides. It's like being in the middle of a war zone. If you align yourself with one side, you automatically become a target for the other, and both the narcissist and the sociopath will try to manipulate you, to use you as a pawn in their game.
Right, like the narcissist will be pouring their heart out to you, telling you how awful the sociopath is, trying to get you to join their pity party. And the sociopath might try to befriend you, make you feel special, like you're in on some secret plan. It's all manipulation, though.
Exactly. The safest place to be is neutral. Don't get drawn into their drama. If they try to vent to you, offer vague, non-committal responses. That sounds tough. I hope things work out. But don't offer opinions and don't engage in the gossip.
Okay, so stay Switzerland. Got it. What else?
Boundaries. You absolutely have to set firm boundaries with both of them because they will both test you, see how far they can push you, try to get you to do things for them.
Yeah, the late-night emotional phone calls, the guilt trips, the requests for favors that are really just attempts to control you.
Exactly. And you have to be clear and firm. I care about you, but I can't get involved in this. And if they keep pushing, you might have to distance yourself from them completely.
Right, because sometimes you have to protect your own sanity. So boundaries are crucial. What else is important to remember?
Well, this kind of toxic dynamic takes a toll. It's emotionally draining, it's stressful, and it can really mess with your head, so you have to prioritize your own mental well-being.
It's like their chaos can become contagious if you're not careful.
Exactly. So limit your interactions with them. Spend time with people who are positive and supportive. And if you find yourself feeling constantly drained or anxious, don't hesitate to seek professional help.
Good advice, take care of yourself first. Okay, what about confronting them? Is that ever a good idea?
Honestly, in most cases, no. Confrontation rarely works with either a narcissist or a sociopath. With a narcissist, you'll likely be met with defensiveness, anger, or even a smear campaign.
Oh yeah, suddenly you're the bad guy in their story.
Right. And with a sociopath, it can be even more dangerous. They might retaliate, manipulate the situation to make you look bad, or just completely shut down and refuse to engage.
So confrontation is off the table. What's the alternative?
Quietly disengage. Don't respond to their provocations, don't get drawn into their arguments, and if possible, gradually distance yourself from the whole situation.
Like fade into the background, let them have their little war without you.
Exactly. So are there any red flags, any early warning signs that someone might be a narcissist or a sociopath?
That's a good question, because if you can spot these personalities early on, maybe you can avoid getting caught in their web.
Exactly. So with narcissists, look for that excessive need for attention. They always want to be the center of the conversation, they fish for compliments, and they can't handle any kind of criticism.
Right. It's like the world revolves around them.
And with sociopaths, it can be a bit trickier. They're often very charming and charismatic at first.
Right. They can be really good at making you feel like you're the most important person in the world.
Exactly. But look for inconsistencies in their stories. A lack of genuine empathy. Maybe a history of exploiting or manipulating others.
And if something feels off, trust your gut.
Absolutely. Don't ignore those red flags. So what happens if one of them senses they're losing control of the situation? What kind of desperate moves might they pull?
Like if the narcissist is feeling threatened or the sociopath is getting bored.
Right. Well, a narcissist might try to win you back with grand gestures, apologies that aren't really sincere, or promises to change that they'll never keep.
They'll pull out all the stops to get that attention back, right?
Exactly. And a sociopath might just disappear. They'll ghost you, move on to someone new, without any explanation or remorse. It can be really jarring.
So what about the people who are close to these two, the ones who are caught in the middle?
Unfortunately, there's often collateral damage. Friends, family members, coworkers, they can all get dragged into this toxic mess.
It's like an emotional explosion, and everyone nearby gets hit by shrapnel.
Exactly. And if you find yourself in that situation, the best thing you can do is step away. Protect yourself. Don't get drawn into their conflict.
Okay, last question. What happens if you put two narcissists in a room together? Or two sociopaths? Is it just a recipe for ultimate chaos?
Well, with two narcissists, it would probably be an endless battle for attention, a constant competition for who's more important, more successful, more admired.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it wouldn't be pretty. And with two sociopaths, it would be like a chess match where both players are trying to cheat. A lot of manipulation, deception, and probably some pretty nasty power plays.
It's like who can out-sociopath the other sociopath?
Right. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So I guess the takeaway here is be aware of these personality types, recognize the warning signs, and protect yourself.
Right. Don't let their chaos become your chaos.
Exactly.
Well, that was a pretty intense deep dive. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure. It's always fascinating to explore these darker corners of the human psyche.
It is, and it's a good reminder that not everyone is who they seem. So to our listeners, as you go about your day, keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to walk away from anything that feels toxic or manipulative. Your mental well-being is worth it.